Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Real Show, the celebratory interviews. I'm so excited to be here again, celebrating what people are creating, achieving, and growing in 2020. And today I'm excited about this woman here because she is doing amazing things. I remember meeting her years ago, and she was like, come be part of my group. And I was like, oh my gosh, the group, yay. I had just recently gotten to Jacksonville and just meeting people and meeting some amazing mompreneurs. And so I present to you and present and what is it when you say to people like and introduce something? Anyway,
right.
y'all pick it up. For Felicia Wright of Mygani LLC. Yay! Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
I have really admired what you're doing and accomplishing even this year in the pandemic. All that you've accomplished, really, even from when I met you, I was like, oh, okay, she like gets people together and stuff. It's so cool. And then I was like, oh wait, she does so much. So, Felicia, for those who don't know you, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Felicia Wright, and I am the mompreneur of Mygani LLC. We are a social enterprise that creates inspirational products and platforms for women and girls of color. I've been an entrepreneur it's been actually almost 14 years. Wow. So I started out providing design services because my background is in graphic design. And I also have my MBA with a concentration in marketing. So I started out, providing services to other businesses and individuals, organizations, anything from, doing logo designs to printed collateral to helping people, kind of establish what their visual brand looks like, because that's my background. And so I would say maybe about 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to do something more with my designs. I wanted them to have a greater impact. And so at that time, I had a daughter who was, Savannah was born in 2012. So she was about 3 years old at that time. And actually, Alicia, me and you have, our kids are the exact same age, March 27th.
Yes.
So in that, with having a little girl and having a daughter, it kind of changes your perspective of things, and you see things in different ways, and you want to be able to create things that they'll also be able to appreciate, as they get older. Yeah. So within that, one of the things that happened with me and my daughter is, I used to get relaxers in my hair before I had her. And I think I might have had a relaxer maybe one time after I had my daughter. If anybody knows what, with the relaxer, because it's a chemical, it can kind of, different people have different reactions to it. So this last particular time that I had that relaxer, I actually had a really bad reaction to it. Like I just had, my scalp was just like, I felt like it was on fire. It was just a lot of things going on. And I don't know if it was partially because of the relaxer, because I don't want to deter people, because I know, I don't want to like bash people that get relaxers and get perms, but this was just a personal situation for me. And I also think it was because my hormones had changed, because I had just given birth to my daughter. And so my hormones kind of changed. And so organically, because of that situation, and also because I had a daughter, a newborn, I didn't want to just go like sit in a salon for hours at a time. So I kind of ended up skipping appointments. So gradually I started, missing the appointments and not getting the relaxer. And then because I had a little girl, I was trying to figure out how to do her hair. Of course, when she was born, she had, her hair was a certain pattern. And then of course it changed as she got older. So me and her kind of went through that whole natural hair journey together, if you will. And one of the things that I noticed was it wasn't just about the hair, but at that time, it was also a lot of conversation about, well, what is natural hair and what does it mean? And almost like a natural hair movement, if you will. And I had a couple of friends that, were natural. So they would give me suggestions about products, and different things like that. And what I started noticing is, it was just something that it was a personal decision for me to make at that time. But I also saw it being, more than just hair. It was more than just about, the natural hair movement. It was how I saw myself, how other people saw me. So it just became this whole, huge purpose. So within that, I decided to design, different shades of brown and black girls with naturally curly hair and put them on products. So that's how my whole product line came about in 2015. And I probably gave you guys like a whole a whole history lesson behind that. But just even before that, in being in the graphic design industry, I never wanted to, for me to just, create pretty pictures or pretty images. I always wanted them to have some type of positive impact or positive meaning behind it. And so that's kind of what pushed me, to design the product line that we have out now.
That's a great thing, because I appreciate people's stories. Like understanding why people do certain things. Like,
right.
How did you even think to get to this point? And so thank you for that. And I love your product line, Felicia. Like I have a bag and I use, actually it is right here.
I have it behind you. Oh, I wrapped in purple.
I use it. It is part of my travel bag, my travel work bag. So I have it with me all the time. So you're talking about why you created this line and what led you to this. So here,
right.
2020, pandemic has hit.
Right.
You are still growing and creating and thriving in the pandemic. So what are we celebrating this year for you?
Yeah, and it's definitely been challenging. And of course I mentioned, my daughter, she had been, because we just recently had a transition. So she was also at home with me. And in me working from home and trying to make sure she was getting her schoolwork done. And if anybody knows, when you have that transition from second to third grade, it's almost like a huge jump, because now they're doing all this testing. So it's almost like they went from elementary to high school with all the testing that they're doing. And so it was a huge learning curve just in that. But then also having to, be at home, and she's the only child, so she's not able, to be around her friends and things like that. So that whole dynamic was, it was stressful. It was overwhelming. It was just a lot, trying to make sure, she was doing good, still taking care of the house. My husband was still working, has still been working, and is still working outside of the house because he's considered an essential worker. So he's still been, working outside of the house. But it's been a challenge. And then I know even with the product side of things, when everything first happened, it was a huge challenge, because some of my things, some of the manufacturers that I work with are overseas. So it was about, okay, everything kind of shut down, or they only have a certain amount of people working there. So then, something that may take you 2 weeks is now taking 2 months to get to you. And then for me, I was concerned about that affecting the customer experience, because they're not getting their products on time. And then because we didn't really know what was going on, and I think there's still a lot of unknowns, when someone orders something, like, do they need to clean it? Like, how long has it been in the warehouse? All these unknowns. So it just became a lot. But I will say that my manufacturers have been really good about communicating with me about what's going on. Like, we're gearing up for the holidays now. And then the other thing that I decided to do, because Felicia, you mentioned earlier about the Mentoring Mamas program that I had. And I actually still have that as an online group where, moms can share their stories, ask for resources, and just kind of support one another. Outside of that, I also had kind of like a vendor space, a mompreneur marketplace, excuse me, that I was doing face to face. But of course, when COVID hit, we weren't really able to do that. So it was right around Mother's Day. I was like, you know what? I still want to be able to support these moms. There's still things that they can do, and they can just kind of be creative with how they're getting their products or services to their clients or potential clients and customers. And so I ended up doing a mompreneur marketplace and doing it virtually. We actually just did one last night. Now we're doing kind of a holiday series, gearing up for the holidays, sharing what's going on, how they're getting through things. So that's been going really well. And then the other thing that has happened this year, me being a Black woman, and with just the whole racial climate of everything, and not that these things have not happened before, but I think it just escalated, especially after George Floyd. Things just kind of escalated, and so I think more people that didn't necessarily see it as such, I think their eyes were open, because we have our cameras and videos, and you can just clearly see that this was not right. It's one thing to be okay, it's race against race, but then it's another thing, okay, this is right and this is wrong. Like, you can clearly see that. And so that's another thing that I know personally has affected me. And also just having those conversations with my daughter, with other kids that I mentor and that I work with. And two, because of my product line, the reason why I did it, because I wanted to empower, young girls and women that look like me, to let them know that, they are enough. They are worth something. There are people out there that are doing positive things that look like them, and they have something to aspire or look up to. So with that, going back to the virtual mompreneur marketplace, I also want to be able to, celebrate other moms and women that are doing well, and there's positive stories. And I also wanted to be intentional about highlighting positive stories for Black mom-owned businesses. So I think it was about in June of this year, I actually had the chance to partner with a local TV station here in Jacksonville, River City Live, where the Mompreneur Marketplace segment is collaborating with them to bring attention to, Black mom-owned businesses that are doing positive things in the community. Because I think the other thing that a lot of people don't know, they just see the business, but they don't know the face behind the business, and they also don't know that business, when you support a small business owner, you're not just buying a product or service from them. You're also helping them raise their families, thrive in the community, and also give back to the community. Because a lot of the businesses, especially women and moms, we're always giving back in some way. And so I just wanted to be a part of the solution, if you will. And so that was one of the ways that that I'm, something that I'm very proud of, and that I'm very happy that we were able to have that conversation, and for it to continue and not just be a one-time thing. So I'm hoping that, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we'll still be able, and we'll still be highlighting, positive stories about Black mom-owned businesses.
And I believe so, because, those segments, one thing about Jacksonville that I've noticed since being here is that they are they're very keen on small business owners. A lot of programs, a lot of things going on for small business owners. And there are a lot of us out there.
Right.
And being able to have a platform, or have a connection, like the Mompreneur Marketplace, to be able to let other people know to get on River City Live and showcase what it is that we do as mompreneurs. We don't get enough credit and credence for what we do anyway.
Right.
Because we do things well, because we're moms, and we handle stuff, and we've got businesses, and we know what we're doing.
Right.
But, being able to have the connection and the platform to showcase it, so that the word gets out more about it, is awesome. And so thank you for doing this that kudos to you for even making that partnership and making it available for us and showcasing all the moms you have so far. Thank you for that, Felicia. That really it really is awesome. Did you see yourself doing this at the beginning of the year?
No. I mean, I knew that I would probably have the segments or probably create, I did see the mompreneur marketplace specifically being a face-to-face, maybe like a vendor pop-up quarterly. I didn't necessarily see it online, and I definitely didn't see the collaboration and the partnership, with River City Live because of that. Because again, being a woman of color, being a Black female, sometimes, and I could just speak for myself, you always hesitate about talking about race things because you don't want to make it seem like, well, you just need to give me this opportunity because of this, or you feel like you're not getting the opportunity because of how you look, or because you're Black, because you're a female. So I knew there would be I don't know if I want to say hesitation, or maybe somebody doesn't see it like I see it. But I think too, with that collaboration with River City Live, I think it's able to open up the conversation, because sometimes people just don't know. Like, you can't, fault somebody who doesn't look like me, because maybe they just don't know. They didn't have that experience. They didn't, grow up like that. And I can understand it from that perspective. So that's why we need to have the conversation. So you understand, and you may not ever fully understand, the things that I've experienced or the things that my family has experienced or go through, but at least have the conversation. And maybe now, okay, what can I do to help? What can I do to contribute to the solution and not be a part of the problem? So, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm grateful that they gave you the opportunity, that
right,
you have the platform now to be able to face
yeah,
all of the mompreneurs that you have so far, and I'm sure more in the future.
Yeah, we have I know we have another one scheduled. She just confirmed in a couple of weeks. So yeah, there'll probably be a couple more before the holidays. So
hey, I look forward to seeing those. So throughout this year and all that has gone on, all the ups and downs and everything, what have you learned about yourself in the process?
Probably a lot. Because, and like you were saying, as moms and as women, I think we get things done, and sometimes we don't even realize we're getting it done. It's just by nature, or it's just in us to just do it.
Right.
But I know something that I've had to kind of take a step back, or take time to make sure that I'm still taking care of myself, because it can get so easily to get wrapped up into, you're taking care of everybody else, making sure the house is good, the kids are good, still trying to, work on the business and, pushing it and wanting it to grow. But it can affect you, it can affect you in a negative way, mentally and physically. So I think that that's something that I've learned to just kind of pace myself, if you will, because I know that I can get overwhelmed and overloaded, but trying to pace myself, because I know when I don't, then it just kind of ends up being a domino effect and affecting every aspect, personal, professional life, and just like again, affecting your health, mentally and physically. So just learning to pace myself. And we talk a lot about self-care, and I think I actually even asked this question in the group, the moms group, the other day, like, what does that mean? And it can mean different things for different people. I know one thing that I did start doing, probably I think like a month ago, I actually, Mondays are kind of my days off. So Monday, like, I don't check social media, I don't check my email. And sometimes every other Monday, my husband is actually off too. So sometimes we'll do stuff together. Cause he ended up kind of changing his schedule, because, we were doing virtual school and that kind of thing. But Mondays is just kind of like my day to not do anything. Sometimes I just sit there and like watch, my shows on TV. but not being on social media, not doing anything work related. And I feel like that's helped a lot, because sometimes I feel like I can, not be doing anything, but then also mentally thinking about the 20 other things that I know that I have to do. And it's still a work in progress, but I think that that is helping me, be a better version of myself, if you will. So that, and just being a better mom, better wife, and, business owner, because I know that when I wasn't doing that, I just wasn't productive. Like, I just wasn't as productive. It was inconsistent. Then I know I get migraines. I know when I stress out really, really bad, I know that a migraine is coming. So learning to take better care of myself, so that I'm able to get the things done, that I need to get done, and in a more positive, effective way. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. That's major things we've all been learning is to take
Mhm.
better care of ourselves.
Mhm.
Before it
Mhm.
was like a time, like I don't have time for this. I got
Right.
this time.
Right.
Now we
Right.
got all this time, but our minds are still like
Mhm.
going a mile a minute, and being able to make the time, set the time.
Right.
Like
Right.
said, Mondays, I'm I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
shows. I'm not
Yeah.
doing social media. I'm not doing any of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll sit back and take this for me. So
Right.
Grey's Anatomy is saying this week, this is what I'm doing on.
Mhm. Mm, yeah.
So, and that's something that we need to be
Mhm.
productive, to
Mhm.
do all
Mhm.
of the things that we're trying to accomplish anyway.
Right.
Whatever state of life, whether we're a business owner or a mom or whatever other things we are,
Right.
we have to take time to take care of ourselves so that we can be there for those other things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's good
Exactly.
that you set a time, set a schedule. This is what I'm gonna do,
Mhm.
and you figure that out now.
Right.
So moving forward, hopefully you'll keep that. Keep
Mhm.
those things open up.
Mhm.
Keep your time. You need your me time.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, yeah, there was something, and I don't know who said it, but it was like protecting my peace, basically.
Endless.
Like, you have to be, just on it and say, okay, I can't talk to you right now, or just don't even answer the phone, or look at your, email. And even with the social media, even if it's not work related, you can just get caught up looking at other people's posts, or
Right.
and then I know there's these stats out there about watching social media. Like, you can go into depression, or just feel like you see people doing all these things, and you're like, then you start feeling like, well, I need to be doing more. And then, you just kind of end up putting yourself in a hole. Like, you need to, yeah.
Right.
You just need the
Break your
break.
own spiral because
Right.
somebody else is doing something. I'm like,
Right.
you know what?
Right. Yeah.
It's okay. Protecting my peace has been a big thing
Mhm.
this year.
Mhm.
Everything.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
can't. Y'all are going too hard on these social medias. Okay.
Right. Right.
Let me go ahead. I've done a lot of snoozing people for 30 days.
Mhm.
I need options though. I feel like I want to do 60 days so I don't have to do it again in 30. But, you know, just being able to actively take the steps to protecting my peace
Right.
and
Right.
protecting what I need to be productive.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, so
Yeah. And
hey,
it's interesting because just as you're talking, I think that, I mean, I say it now, and I'm really trying hard to be in that place, but I think I'm also that type of person where um at one time it was really hard because I felt guilty. Like, if somebody asked me for help, I want to help them if I'm able to. So when I don't, I feel guilty about it. But it's just like, and I've started to learning to just say no, just the word no. Like, I don't need to give an explanation. I just, it can't, it just can't be done, because I'm already doing too many other things. Like, I just can't do it. Can't do it. So
so with
and
that,
not feel guilty about
right.
it.
So with that being said, this is my last question.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to someone who is experiencing 2020?
Wow. Yeah. I probably have so many things to say, but I think the number one thing, and not just even 2020, but I would say that, do you want it from for a business standpoint of view, or just in general? Just in general, I would say make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people, positive people, because and I'm sure many of us have been in this place before, but you feel like you have people that support you, and I think I wrote a post one time and it said something like, everybody that is part of your circle is not in your circle, which basically means that you need to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the positive people that are going to uplift you, that are talking about you in a good way behind your back, and sometimes you don't know it until time passes on, but I think this is important because you're not going to be able to get through life alone, like whether it's personal or business, but just making sure you have, and it could be one or two people, like it doesn't need to be this full entourage of people. One or two people that you can call on. Maybe you just need to vent to somebody, or you just need to ask a question. If it's like something about business, maybe that person has a business, and they'll help you through it and give you advice, but just making sure you have that supportive network, and that is the right supportive network, because I think a lot of times it can be easy to listen to what other people are saying and not listen to your own head or your own advice. So have those supportive people, and make sure that that's the right supportive network, but also listening to their advice and what they're telling you, but making sure that that's right for you, not just because they said, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that, because there's been a lot of times where I feel like I've gotten advice, and just because of who it came from, I did it, but then at the same time, even while I was doing it, I knew, I'm like, this just isn't right for me. And that doesn't mean that that person has any ill feelings or will, or was trying to steer you in the wrong direction. They just wanted to give you their advice, but you have to make sure that what you're doing is right for you, and having that positive supportive network of people that you can kind of lean on and go to, and if you need a break from the kids or from the husband, you can take a break and do that. But yeah, so that's what I would say, making sure you have that solid supportive group of network friends, and then also um just listening to your intuition, because I know especially in business, a lot of times people will tell you, well, it's not logical, it doesn't make any sense. But for me, I listen to that, but I know there's been several times where I didn't listen to my gut or my intuition, and I went one way, and it just wasn't right for me. And I think especially as women, we're talking about the social media, as women and as moms, we kind of we judge each other. We're very judgmental. We can be very judgmental, very comparing each other. Well, she's here, she's doing this, and we got to get out of that mindset. And then again, it goes back to your mindset. You got to get out of that, because just because everybody's journey is not going to be the same, you can still be supportive of one another, genuinely supportive of one another, and just know that your journey is going to be different from somebody else's journey. That doesn't mean that it's wrong, though. So I probably gave like 3 or 4 pieces, but 2020 has been kind of.
Listen, we have had 5 years already in 2020, so year. But no, those are good things, because we definitely, I think, one of the your first point was about having the right network.
Yeah.
Being connected to the right people. And
Yeah.
I think 2020 has shown us, kind of who we're connected to and what it's really about.
Right.
And,
exactly.
And we've had to shift some things and change some relationships and cut off some relationships.
Right.
Not like in a cancel culture, but in a, you're really not good for me.
Right.
And so, God bless you, Godspeed. No hard feelings. It's just gonna work moving forward. And it's so important, especially as mothers or as wives or as business owners, to be connected to people who can speak life into you
Right.
and give you what you need and allow you the space to speak freely without reservation, and for them to be able to speak freely to you.
Right.
So that
Right.
you all can be better and do better in whatever area it's in. So
yeah,
that is,
definitely.
I mean, definitely needed, because I know beginning of quarantine and my son had gone up to his dad's house. I was in the house alone.
Right.
This
Mm-hmm.
what do
Right.
I do now?
Right.
No, and then the shared experience created new relationships and new connections that I didn't see before.
Right.
Because we're in this space, but it also solidified some of the relationships that I was kind of on the fence about, and it also showed me the ones that needed to go off into the wind. So
right. Right.
that's great advice, because it we have the time, even though we're trying to get back to a sense of normalcy, we
Right.
have time to assess who we're connected to, and assess what we're doing in life or in business or whatever it is that we feel like we're supposed to accomplish now, or even assessing the fact that we need to take a step back,
right,
and work on ourselves to be able to accomplish things in the near future. So those are all good advice. Thank you so much, Felicia, for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Today. Would you mind sharing with the people your social media or how they can find you?
Yes, so you can go to our website, which is www.mygani.com, and Mygani is spelled MYGANI.com. We are on Instagram. It's Mygani_LLC. And those are like the two main places. I'm also on Facebook too, but I think it's Mygani, and then it's my name, or dot Felicia B. Wright. You can find me that way as well.
Well, we will definitely look you up online, and you guys make sure check her out, check out her products, buy her products. And we didn't talk about the essence thing, but just
oh yeah. Yes, so our products, 8 of our products are actually on the Essence Marketplace, and it's shop.essence.com. Also, you can find them on the Essence Facebook page, and we're hoping to add more products soon. This is actually our second year in partnership with them, so we're really excited about that, and hopefully will be highlighted because we were last year in some of their holiday gift guides and things like that. Hopefully that will happen again this year. Yeah.
So excited for all that you're accomplishing, Felicia, and you're doing amazing work. Like I'm sitting at home like, oh man, drinking, like, oh, what is she doing now? Okay,
right.
But I don't compare. I celebrate.
Right.
But if you need a voiceover or a picture or something, you just let me know.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Felicia, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Your celebrations. And those of you who are watching, like I said before, make sure you check her out, get her stuff, buy her stuff. The holiday is coming up. You need this. So go ahead, check out her stuff. And until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Bye.